What if I told you the bad guys in Star Wars might actually have a point? Look, I know what you're thinking. The Sith are evil. They're genocidal space wizards who choke people for sport and blow up planets. But here's the thing. We're not talking about their actions today. We're talking about their philosophy. And when you actually read the Sith Code versus the Jedi Code, something uncomfortable happens. You start to realize that maybe, just maybe, the Sith understood human nature better than the Jedi ever did. So buckle up, because today we're committing total heresy. We're going to examine why the Sith Code might make more philosophical sense than the Jedi Code. And trust me, by the end of this, you might question everything you thought you knew about the Force. First, let's lay out what we're actually comparing here. The Jedi Code goes like this. There is no emotion. There is peace. There is no ignorance. There is knowledge. There is no passion. There is serenity. There is no chaos. There is harmony. There is no death. There is the Force. Sounds pretty zen, right? Very enlightened. Very monk-like. Now here's the Sith Code. Peace is a lie. There is only passion. Through passion I gain strength. Through strength I gain power. Through power I gain victory. Through victory my chains are broken. The Force shall free me. Okay, that's definitely more aggressive. But notice something crucial. While the Jedi Code speaks in absolutes about what doesn't exist, the Sith Code speaks about personal growth and liberation. The Jedi Code is written in third person, as if spoken by the universe itself. The Sith Code? It's in first person. It's personal. It's about you. Here's where things get interesting. The Jedi Code literally starts with, there is no emotion. There is peace. Let's think about that for a second. They're telling you to deny the fundamental aspect of what makes you human, or Twi'lek, or Wookiee, or whatever species you are. You're supposed to just turn off your emotions, like flipping a light switch. But here's the problem. That's not how biology works. That's not how psychology works. The Sith recognize that passions are what keep all creatures alive, from the most basic organisms to the most evolved sentient beings. You can't just delete your emotions. You can only suppress them. And what happens when you suppress emotions for your entire life? We literally see the answer in the prequel trilogy. The Jedi Order became rigid, dogmatic, and blind to the darkness growing right under their noses. Anakin Skywalker, the chosen one, was falling apart emotionally, and the Jedi response was basically, have you tried meditating about it? The Sith Code says there is only passion. It's not saying passion is all that matters, but rather that passion exists, and it's fuel. The Sith use their emotions to give them power, to access aspects of the Force that the Jedi cannot. They're not denying reality, they're working with it. Think about the real-world parallel. Modern psychology doesn't tell you to suppress your emotions. It tells you to acknowledge them, understand them, and channel them productively. That's literally what the Sith Code is advocating for, minus the whole galactic domination part. Let's talk about freedom, because this is where the Sith Code really shines philosophically. The entire code builds toward one goal. Through victory, my chains are broken. The Force shall free me. Freedom. Personal liberation. The ability to forge your own path. Now look at the Jedi. The last line of their code is, there is no death. There is the Force. What does that mean in practice? It means you're not an individual. You're just a small part of this vast cosmic energy. The Jedi philosophy leaves no room for the self. Your identity as a Jedi is less important than your responsibility as one. You exist to serve the Force, the Order, the Republic. The Jedi Code is supposed to be selfless, and by the time they've applied all its lines, they've basically erased themselves. The Sith Code, on the other hand, ends with me. It's about personal empowerment. It ends with a call to apply it to your own life and experience. Is that selfish? Sure. But is complete self-erasure really the answer? The Jedi essentially created an army of emotionless servants who couldn't question orders. They became military generals of a republic that was corrupt and failing. They fought in a war they didn't understand, manipulated by a Sith Lord they couldn't detect, because they'd spent so long denying their instincts and emotions that they'd become blind. Let's address the elephant in the room. The Jedi failed. Catastrophically. They didn't just lose. They got outplayed, manipulated, and destroyed. And why? Because their code made them weak to the exact threats they should have been prepared for. There is no ignorance. There is knowledge. Really? The Jedi never truly understood the Force because they couldn't see past the light and into the dark. They assumed the prophecy about bringing balance to the Force meant destroying the Sith, when they themselves said it would restore balance. If there's only light and no darkness, that's not balance. That's just one extreme. Ironic, isn't it? They're the ones who said only a Sith deals in absolutes while their entire code is written in absolutes. The character of Master Torbin in The Acolyte is a perfect example. This Jedi Master swore an oath of isolation for over a decade, but even meditation didn't give him peace. When offered poison by a Sith assassin, he took it, proving he had never found peace as a Jedi. The code promised peace, but couldn't deliver it. Even Obi-Wan Kenobi, considered the best of the Jedi, relied on attachments and passion in his most critical moments. He used the dark side when he defeated Anakin in Revenge of the Sith, and in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, he found strength in his attachments to Luke and Leia. The Jedi who embodied their code the most had to break it to win. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The movies keep dancing around. Balance in the Force exists somewhere between the two philosophies. Neither philosophy is balanced on its own. The Sith Code isn't perfect. It leads to tyranny, betrayal, and the rule of two. But philosophically, it's honest. It acknowledges that conflict drives growth. Conflict forces change, growth, adaptation, evolution, or death. It's a law of the universe. The Jedi Code promises enlightenment through denial. The Sith Code promises power through acceptance. One pretends you can transcend your nature. The other says, embrace it and direct it. Think about Anakin's fall. The Jedi told him to let go of his fear of losing Padme. Just let go. Don't feel it. The problem? He did fear losing her, and telling him not to feel that didn't make it go away. It made him feel isolated and broken. If the Jedi had acknowledged that fear was natural and helped him work through it instead of suppressing it, maybe things would have turned out differently. The Sith Code says, through passion, I gain strength. That's not inherently evil. That's saying your emotions can be fuel. Love can make you strong. Fear can make you cautious. Anger can give you the energy to fight injustice. It's what you do with those emotions that matters. Look, I'm not saying we should all become Sith Lords and start force-choke people who cut us off in traffic. The Sith, as an organization, committed atrocities. But their code, their underlying philosophy, has a point. It's more honest about human nature. It's more accepting of individuality. It acknowledges that growth comes from struggle, not from pretending struggle doesn't exist. Unlike the Jedi Code, which is rigid, the Sith Code allows for interpretation and personal growth. The real answer, the real balance, probably lies somewhere in the middle. Acknowledge your passions, but don't let them control you. Seek personal freedom, but not at the expense of everyone else. Use your emotions as tools, not weapons. Maybe the galaxy didn't need the Jedi or the Sith. Maybe it needed something better. Something that took the honesty and empowerment of the Sith Code and combined it with the compassion and service of the Jedi ideal. But if I had to choose, between denying my emotions exist or acknowledging them, between erasing myself or empowering myself, between serving as a tool or becoming free, yeah, I might be reading that Sith Code again. Thanks for watching, and hey, if you've got thoughts on this, drop them in the comments. Let's talk about it. And may the Force free you.